It went live on my end.
Okay, yeah, I hit it again, but it failed to go live the first time. And when that happens, we usually have problems with it on the YouTube archive side. So
here's to hoping.
fingers crossed.
Yes.
If you can see this,
then we've
I don't know,
won.
Google didn't add the video version to the podcast store anyway. Jerks.
Oh, they did. It's only audio.
They have so Sean, who does our video feed, submitted it, and it's there, but it only has the audio episodes that he adds to the feed because Peter doesn't do a video version for day 6. So that's the only ones in there. So it says DTNS video, but there's actually no video, and it's only like 2-3 episodes.
That's weird. It's like it's not hurting their servers. It's
they'll probably add it eventually. It's part of Google Music, so I think what they're thinking is like, let's just do audio first.
Right.
We can roll in video later.
Yeah. All right.
It's not very auspicious.
Cool. We don't have to talk about it now. We just talked about it. That's it. That's the story. Next. All right.
Yeah. Right. Whoa, crap.
We blew the show.
The only story in the show, as usual. So one of these days, okay, there's the I don't think it's necessarily untrue, but I think it's a truism that the Inuit have many words for snow because there are different types of snow. I would like someday to create many different types of news days, like words for the different types of news day, because sometimes there's like the rarest news day is the one where like it is really obvious there are 8 stories and everybody's on them and it's like that's it, that's the stories, there's no question about it. Right. Then there's days where like TechMeme and Google News don't have any of the same stories up, and it's just like all over the place, like nobody can agree what the stories of the day are. Those are pretty rare too. Usually it's around like 4 or 5 stories that everybody's like, those are the big stories, and then there's like a smattering of other stories. Today's one of those days. There's like 4 stories, and then on the tail after the 4 stories, sometimes those can be closer or wider.
Yeah, I was looking at Apple News this morning just on my tablet, and I didn't see most of these stories on there. It was other non.
Oh, on the Apple News app, you mean?
Yeah. It's just so you're right about the smattering. It's just a different. Yeah. Every feed has a different take of what they feel is important, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of, we should probably do the show.
Oh, we have a show to do. Right.
Yeah. Thank you for being here, Lamar.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh, I thought Netflix was doing their earnings tomorrow. Roger, can you just I'm going to put the links in. Can you just flesh out the actual numbers? I'm just going to...
Yes.
Thank you. That made Roger sound like he was in a booth somewhere with a cough button.
I was like, is that Roger Bot that you have there?
Yes. That is Roger Bot. All right. I am almost ready to go. After I just said we should definitely go, and then I didn't go.
No problem. I'm just gonna play with my little BB-8 here. Hi, BB-8.
Do you watch Force Awakens with that?
I need to watch it tonight with this.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Good day. This is the Daily Tech News Show. I'm American, and this is my best attempt at an Australian accent. If you'd like to hear a real Australian accent, go to dailytechnewsshow.com/support and pledge an amount so Peter Wells can do a 6th day of DTNS. Shrimp on the barbie.
This is the Daily Tech News for Monday, April 18th, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt. Joining me today, showcaser and entertainer, it says here, Lamar Wilson. How's it going?
I'm going good. Yes, I put my own title in there.
I like it.
Yeah, why not? Why not? It's good to see you, Tom.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Veronica Belmont has the day off again. She will be back, though, I promise. But we're very happy to have Lamar, and because we don't get enough Lamar Wilson on the show, so I'm excited. And Amazon Video is now available on its own, which is weird, and we're going to talk about that.
It is, yeah.
It's intriguing, right?
It's very intriguing, and I definitely have some opinions about this.
All right, well, we are going to get to those after the headlines. Here are the basics, though. Amazon introduced a $10.99 a month payment option for Amazon Prime. Now, that's not only the video but the Kindle lending library and the shipping, the 2-day shipping, and all of that. There's also a separate $8.99 a month plan for just Prime Video. That's what we were just talking about. These are available in the United States. Now, Amazon UK already offered Prime Video separately for £5.99 a month, but they're going to start promoting that a little more. There is no monthly Prime shipping option in the UK yet. The Verge notes that Amazon started offering Sprint customers a monthly Prime option last month. That may have been a little bit of a test here. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, because Amazon, I don't know, it feels like they got a little incubator going on with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, they're always very mysterious, so definitely want to pick their brain a little bit, as much as they let us a little bit later.
You should pick the brain of Siri when you want to as well, because occasionally she will break news, apparently. Ars Technica reports that when you ask Siri when the WWDC is, sometime this morning it started responding June 13th through June 17th in San Francisco. Apple has not yet confirmed this or posted it on its website. At least it may have by the time you hear this, but it hadn't by the time we started recording. So interesting way for Apple to kind of leak out the dates. Kind of fun, very fun for Apple. I mean, for Apple.
Yeah, but who was this person that was sitting there probably every day asking Siri when WWDC was?
It's funny. Someone on Twitter earlier this morning, like way early in the morning Eastern time, had posted a screenshot with Siri saying, "I don't have that information yet," and wrote "worth a try." And then later in the day, that person was just a little too early.
Okay.
Let's see if it answers. When is WWDC?
The Worldwide Developers Conference, WWDC, will be held the 13th of June through the 17th of June in San Francisco. I can't wait.
Yeah, I think the most important question here is, why is your guy British, and why don't I have mine to be British as well?
Yeah, well, I think your second question is really the answer to the first.
Yeah, I need to fix that immediately.
Have yours set to be a British guy?
That is amazing.
The U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear a challenge from the Authors Guild to a decision that allows Google to scan books for its online library project, Google Books. That leaves in place the October 2015 ruling by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New York that the project was, quote, at the boundaries of fair use. Google Books scans books in order to index them and then makes small excerpts available of just the page or portion of the page that your search terms apply to. Publishers can request that even that excerpt not be viewed, but the idea is to push people into buying the books. Google has always said, look, it's fair use for us to scan these to make an indexable database of it. It would be copyright violation to display the whole books, but that's not what we do. Authors Guild has taken a hard line on it, and they've lost.
Yeah, you know, this is an interesting thing because I totally like this idea. Someone out there has to archive our history and our writings. And I know you're author, you may have a different opinion, but I really feel like this is a good thing on the surface. And from what it sounds like you said, they're not like giving like the book for free. I mean, if you still have to pay for it. Yeah. But I think the idea of scanning, you know, let's say wartime happens and all of our things get destroyed. I mean, we've seen many movies like that. At least, you know, we have this archive of all of our great works. I don't see a problem with it personally.
I mean, I would have preferred that Google team up with archive.org, whose stated purpose is to be the library of the internet. Archive.org has their own book scanning procedure, and this decision will help them. But that's neither here nor there. That's not about the law. That's just about, I would have liked to see those two team up on this. But Google definitely had the right to make this database the same way they have the right to make a database of indexable search engine results for the web. So as somebody who, you know, I've just done self-publishing, but I give away my books. I give them for free with a Creative Commons license because I want people to read them. At the same time, I can understand where there are definitely cases where a publisher would not want them given away for free, and what Google's doing is trying to help expose people to books that they might then want to buy. I think the Authors Guild just didn't like that they couldn't make money off of all parts of this.
Okay.
YouTube launched live streaming 360-degree video, and that's at NAB, where my wife is because she works for YouTube, Monday. Support for spatial audio was added for on-demand 360-degree video. That's where you can tell which direction the sound is coming from. Select concerts from Coachella will be streamed in 360 degrees this coming weekend. Google also launched a live API for adding the streams into an app or service, though it's limited to makers of 360-degree cameras at this point.
Yeah, so to be clear, 360 has been around for a while on YouTube, but this live edition is really interesting. And I think for a place like Coachella or any other type of event where the audience themselves can choose what they want to see, I think it's a great feature. It doesn't hurt anything. I mean, YouTube is not going to do any kind of VR or AR list like for a while, so they have to have some kind of extra gimmick to get people to stay on the site longer. And I tell you, like when I get in a 360 video, I'm there the whole time because I'm just being nosy, looking at every part that's going on.
Well,
I think it's a great idea.
Eileen and I were watching the Coachella streams this weekend, and of course they're going to stream again this coming weekend. And so there's one reason why I might watch again some bands that maybe I already saw because, I'll get to play around with 360 degrees. But also, there are always somebody doing something in the audience where they take a quick shot of it and then they cut back to the stage, and you're like, wait, what was that person wearing? What were they doing? And this way you'd be able to just go back and take a look.
Yeah, good idea.
CBS 60 Minutes on Sunday showed off the well-known but not widely exposed ability to use Signal System 7, or SS7, to intercept phone communication on a cellular network. This isn't really news, or at least it shouldn't be. German security researcher Carsten Null demonstrated the flaw at the Chaos Communication Congress in Hamburg back in December 2014. But this has certainly put it in front of a wider audience of people, including a congressman.
Yeah, I can't actually tell you how terrified I was to read this article because I didn't. I mean, we know things like this is possible, but to actually read that they only need your cell phone and they can get a ton of information, and the actual carriers are just pretty much worthless in this scenario.
Well, it's honestly not as terrifying as it sounds. Although maybe it's because you don't think the internet is as terrifying as it should be. And when I say you, I mean the wider populace.
Right.
We are very concerned with encryption and end-to-end encryption on email, because right now if you send email on the internet, you have to assume that anybody along the chain could take a look at it if they really wanted to. And all this is saying is same is true for your phone conversations out there.
Right, and it was interesting. Tom, I was looking about these apps. Now we know iMessage is person-to-person encryption, but I always thought Facebook Messenger was, and it's not. And some other apps, even WhatsApp is not 100% encrypted yet. So I think we're going to see a rise.
Just recently did become end-to-end, 100%.
Is it 100% now? Okay.
Yeah. That was just last week, actually.
Oh,
it was for messages, but not for voice, and now it is for everything.
Okay. I want to check them out if you want to have a really private conversation.
And they're using the Open Signal protocol, which, by the way, Signal is probably your best bet if you really want to have a secure conversation. But WhatsApp has more people using it and uses the same protocol that Signal does, so there you go. It's not a bad choice. Right. Google has launched its podcast option in Google Play Music. According to the company blog post, the service is available in the U.S. and Canada on both the web and Android. It is coming to iOS, but it's not there yet. Creators interested in making their podcasts available on Google Play Music are urged to visit g.co/podcast portal.
So I have some thoughts on this. So you remember when I feel like Google, like, what took them so long? That's really my question, because they're the archive of everything on internet. I know archive.org technically is, but you know what I mean. And remember they had the app called Listen on Android.
Oh, right.
It was kind of like a 10% project for one of the people, and it got discontinued. But I've always wondered why Google allowed Apple to kind of have the sole product with iTunes, and Apple, in my opinion, doesn't even want it. They don't like podcasts. They can't monetize it. You can put as many ads in it as you want.
That work for the podcasting section of iTunes might disagree with you there, but
I don't think they like podcasts at all. I mean, they take forever.
I know
they take forever. They take forever to make the apps for the Apple TV or make them good.
Enough.
It just seems like it's not a big priority for their business.
It's not as much as you might have thought it would become, and I think it's the same cause in both situations, which is you have people assuming podcasts are dead multiple times throughout podcasting history, and in fact, Google kind of let FeedBurner just burn away. It's still working, but it hasn't been really actively developed in years. And now suddenly podcasts are back with a vengeance again. And I think that's what's going on. Is Apple's interest in podcasting is rekindling, from what I can tell, and we have yet to see that really happen in public. But the podcast app coming to Apple TV, I think, is one instance of that. And Google obviously is getting back into it. Like, wow, I guess we should have been paying attention to this. Podcasting wasn't dead, so it's a good step.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if either company, I know we're primarily talking about Google here, if they will try to monetize it somehow, because it is, I mean, it's not taking up their server space, because, you know, you're still hosting the file on your own, but it'll just be interesting.
They want you to pay for Google Music, which is $10 a month, but that also gets you YouTube Red, and it also gets you the dropping the commercials on YouTube, etc. So it's all kind of similar to the strategy we're going to be talking about with Amazon here.
Interesting. That's a good point.
Now, and one other thing to point out too is video is not part of this. The DTNS video podcast is subscribable through Google Play Music now, but it is just the audio podcasts. It is not the video podcast, and you may be wondering why there are audio podcasts at all. Sean, who volunteers and does the DTNS video subscription feed, puts the audio versions of Day 6 with Peter Wells in there because there is no video version of those, and so those show up in Google Play Music,
wow.
but not a thing. And also, if anyone ever doubts that when I say that even though my wife works for a Google company, I don't really have any influence over there, go look at what they're promoting on the technology page of Google Play Music Podcast, because you won't find DTNS.
Okay.
GameStop announced its new project called GameTrust that's going to publish new games. GameTrust will focus on marketing. They'll leave the creative process to the actual game developers, but they will work with game developers. Insomniac Games, which, by the way, announced 2 new VR games today. Insomniac Games will do Song of the Deep, a Ratchet & Clank title. That'll be the first GameTrust title launching this summer on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And GameTrust will also be working with Frozen Byte, Tequila Works, and Ready at Dawn as well.
Yeah. Are you into gaming a lot, or are you? What's your?
That's a question fraught with so much peril these days. Because if I say yes, then I'll be accused of no, you're not, because you don't play this often or this much.
Right.
Yeah, I like to play video games sometimes.
Cool. Yeah, I guess I was asking because I wonder if you're surprised at this announcement by Game. It seemed like GameStop has to do this. Like it's the natural evolution of securing their name in the business in the next 5-10 years by offering marketing services. It makes sense.
I went into a GameStop a couple weeks ago. It was full of people, had games for sale. But you can see that they have lots of displays talking about their online products. They are definitely moving into a showroom mentality of sorts.
Right.
And I think they're doing it well, which is like they're not stopping selling used games. They're not stopping selling consoles. But they're saying, look, if you are someone who loves video games, we want to be the place you want to go when you're at the mall to entertain you and maybe offer you something. And so being able to provide games like this, so when they come to the mall, maybe you go into GameStop and you play these games and you order them, but you don't necessarily walk out with a physical copy of them there. It still is going to work for GameStop.
Yeah, they still get a cut of whatever because they did the same. Yeah, it actually sounds good. I have no complaints here.
Yeah. How about this? Maybe you'll move to Australia. The Australia Post will begin making test deliveries by UAV, aka drones, to customers' homes later this year. Packages will include medication and online purchases. Australia Post has completed successful field trials for small packages, so they're forging ahead. They're going to start delivering stuff by drone.
I kept saying to myself, wait a minute, what does UAV mean? And I was saying unannounced aerial. I had to look it up. Unmanned aerial
vehicle.
The
University of Antelope Valley. No, it's unmanned aerial vehicle.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what that stood for before the show started. You know what I got from this article was interesting thing about Amazon, who we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, is that when they tested it out, the max range was only 15 miles, which, I mean, 15 miles is a big range. But it was just interesting. I always thought these things would go much further.
Yeah.
So in Australia, everybody's spread out even more. So they were saying this probably can only be limited to the major city areas.
Yeah, it's only, at least at the beginning, it's only going to be in the metro areas. But yeah, I mean, drone range will get better over time, one would assume. So maybe someday.
I like it.
Not all the drone news is good, though. The pilot of a British Airways Airbus A320 en route from Geneva and landing at London's Heathrow Airport reported something struck the front of the aircraft during landing, and the pilot believed it was an unmanned aerial vehicle. UK Civil Aviation Authority said that the operator of the drone could face prison time if they can determine who it was. That's a big if.
Yeah, this is it's going to get worse and worse. The article mentioned they need to set some kind of I think it's called geofencing, where the drone just cannot go past. It's like it just won't let it register your. I think the fence is probably better than the registration things, because I don't know. So are some of these toys like some of these you can go buy at Toys R Us, right? Like how would that work?
Yeah, and you don't have to register under a certain weight, but even if you have registered your drones with the FAA, it's going to be hard to tell what the drone serial number was from an Airbus A320. So I'm not sure how practical that is in hunting down the operator anyway.
Good point. Good point. The better thing would be preventive measures.
Yeah, more education, and I think the geofencing is a good idea to say, hey, voluntarily, companies, should turn this on, and until we have a regulation that requires it. But yeah, you or UAV should not accidentally be able to fly into airport airspace.
Absolutely.
EU antitrust chief Margrethe Vestager said on Monday that her department is investigating complaints of Google's exclusive contracts for Android phone makers. Reuters sources say she's going to be creating some charges here pretty soon, maybe even this week. The contracts in question require phones that carry the Google Play Store to install a suite of other apps. A Google spokesperson told Reuters that the company does not force phone vendors into exclusive contracts, but that's what's being investigated. Vestager said she doesn't mind that Google bundles all their apps together and says, hey, if you take the Google Play Store, you got to take Gmail and Maps and all of that. She says the problem is the exclusivity of the contract that says you can't sell any other versions of Android.
Oh, that's what the issue is. Okay, because I was trying to figure out what's different than what they were doing. But that's an interesting twist on it.
Now, Google says it does not force phone vendors into exclusive contracts. That's different than saying we don't have any exclusive contracts.
Right. You're not forced, but hey, that's a nice lamp you have over there.
Right. And here's where I go from one side to the other. I think it's fine. Android's open source, right? It's fine for Google to say if you want to put Google on your phone and if you want to have the Google Play Store, you got to take these apps. I think there's nothing wrong with that. That's a fair deal. If you don't want it, don't take the Google Play Store. That's fine. I do think, though, that it is a little bit, especially with the market dominance that Android has, I think it's possibly antitrust to say, and you can also not sell any other Android-based operating system. And I think that's a problem.
Okay.
WeChat Enterprise 1.0 version launched Monday. It's available in Chinese for iOS, Android, Windows, and OS X. Employees can use it for chat, things like reimbursement and vacation management. They can make calls with it. Companies with official business WeChat accounts already can take advantage of it right away. Others will need to register with an official Chinese business license. But Tech in Asia is calling it WeSlack because it's essentially like the Slack client, but for WeChat.
Okay, I've never even used WeChat. Is that something that's even available here?
Yeah, you can use WeChat in the U.S. It's not terribly popular over here. Have you ever used Slack though?
No, I haven't.
Well, there you go. So this story means
I'm not an interesting person, Tom.
No, yeah, but I don't believe the interestingness of a person resides in their level of familiarity with either WeChat or Slack. But you might want to check out Slack for sure, because we use it for DTNS, and it's pretty good at helping people plan stuff. I'll invite you in.
Okay, got a deal.
IBM reported a 4.6% decline in quarterly revenue. That's for the first quarter ending in March 31st. Revenue was $18.68 billion, down from $19.59. This is the 16th straight quarter of revenue decline, according to Fortune. Net income fell to $2.01 billion, or $2.09 a share, from $2.33 billion, or $2.35 a share. And Netflix reported 6 cents a share earnings on $1.96 billion in revenue for Q1. Analysts were expecting 3 cents per share on $1.97 billion. So they got close to matching revenue and definitely beat earnings per share. Netflix also reported 4.5 million new international subscribers for a total growth of 6.74 new subscribers in Q1. It had forecast 6 million for Q1, so pretty much right on there, even a little above.
Yeah, they were actually down in stock about 4% because of the Amazon thing. So it's good to see. Maybe they'll pop back up now.
Yeah. Thanks to Abatuela Condolce, Jason Phil, and all those who submitted things from our subreddit. Submit stories and vote on them at dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. That's a look at the headlines. So I thought there was a really interesting take on this Amazon Prime Video story from Romain Dillet from TechCrunch, calling Prime a subscription launchpad. Now, here's why. When you subscribe to Amazon Prime, I'm going to talk about the U.S. package. It varies at different parts of the world. Amazon Prime in the U.S. gives you 2-day shipping for free. It gives you Kindle lending library, which is different than Kindle Unlimited, but it allows you to check out 1 book a month. It gives you Amazon Prime Video. It gives you Amazon Music. And it gives you unlimited photo storage, and that's all for $99 a year. So what they've done now is say, okay, well, you don't have to pay $99 a year. You can do this on a monthly basis, $10.99 a month. That would turn out to be $131.88 a year, but maybe you're not sure you want to pay for a whole year yet, so you just try it out for a couple of months before you convert to yearly. And then if you're just like, you know what, I don't buy things on Amazon. I don't need shipping. I don't read ebooks. I just want to watch Mozart in the Jungle. Well, you can do that now for $8.99 a month. That's $107.88 a year. And before we get into the wider platform here, what's curious about that, Lamar, $8.99 a month looks really cheap. It's actually more expensive than it is now for the entire Amazon Prime thing. But if you just want the video for $107.88 a year, you look cheaper than Netflix, which is $9.99 a month, or Hulu, which is $7.99 a month with commercials, but $11.99 without. And Amazon Prime has no commercials. HBO is $15, Showtime's $11, even Starz is $8.99 a month. So it feels like that is the reason for this Amazon Video only subscription, is to compete with those.
No, I think you're right, and it's interesting the unbundling of that. I read, not just on this article, but I've read comments in the past of people who have said, look, I don't like yearly subscriptions. I would rather pay more so I have control each month of whether I want to pay it or not. And so there is a market out there of people who understand that it's going to be more expensive in the long run, but they like the idea of having their budgeted thing per month to deal with. And so Amazon is very wisely catering to both customers in that scenario.
Yeah, I've lived month to month at points in my life. I know what that's like, where you're like, no, I'm not paying $99 for a year. I can't afford that, but I'll pay for this month because I know I can afford it this month. So that's good. Yeah. I think what Romain Dillet from TechCrunch, and apologies to Romain if I'm butchering the pronunciation of your name, but I think you have a really good point here, which is, yeah, there's the Kindle lending library. You can check out 1 thing a month. That might lead you eventually into Kindle Unlimited, which is a different subscription at $10 a month, which has more recent books. Then there's Amazon Cloud Drive. So you get the free unlimited Amazon photo storage as part of Prime, but if you want to store more than photos, you pay $60 a year, and you can get the Amazon Cloud Drive, which has unlimited storage for more than just photos. So the supposition here is, while right now Prime Video is just a play for people who are like, I don't want shipping, I don't want to pay for a year, I just want the video on a month-to-month basis, success may be Amazon is turning Amazon Prime into a little breeding ground to spin this off, and maybe we'll see a situation where Amazon Video has a different version that gives you more than the version that's bundled in with Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay, that's really interesting. I had another little spin that I didn't see written anywhere, was that, you know, with as many people shipping things now, and it's just as more packages, shipping is more expensive for them than when they made Prime. I don't know, was it 10 years ago, they made Prime. And so maybe this whole idea, I mean, they went up from $79 to $99. Maybe this whole idea of unbundling, maybe just to save costs, maybe it is really expensive to add the video with the different licensing agreements, plus add this free shipping, which, I mean, if you look at regular shipping, if I was to ship a microwave or an Xbox or something big normally next day, I mean, that's a pretty expensive, you know, some places will charge $30, $40, $50 for that. and you getting away with it for $3.99. So it just makes me wonder: are they looking to spin it off entirely, its own product, so that they can just save on the whole shipping thing? I don't know. Does that make sense to you? That they would try to do that?
They did raise the price of Amazon Prime, but I can't imagine that really covered all of the things, especially as people are shipping more and more. I know personally, when we first got Prime, I wasn't sure if it was worth it. And these days, we ship enough things from Amazon that it is definitely worth it. And that means that it's probably not worth it for Amazon. Although they do the accounting on these things, so maybe they're wrong. But just to be clear, Amazon Prime for $99 a year in the U.S. Does include the video.
It does still, right? Absolutely.
It does. So they're not gaining any extra money by spinning it out, except for the incremental money gained of people who didn't want the shipping portion or the music or photos or whatever portion that just want the video. And it does allow them to market it right next to Netflix and say, hey, that's $9.99 a month. We have award-winning shows here, plus Woody Allen film that's going to premiere at Cannes, and we're only $8.99 a month. So there's
and then there's of course, always the value proposition is, people already saying, well, wait a minute, I only watch 3 things in Amazon. They have a garbage, selection, and my answer to that is always, well, that's your take on it. What you may see as garbage is someone else's treasure. So I know they don't have as much content as Netflix, but there's things that I can't get on Netflix that I can get on Amazon. So I think it's a good value to have. Would I pay the $8.99 with all the subscriptions I have now, Tom? As a cord cutter, I don't know. I already do Netflix. I do the expensive Netflix for 4K. I do the no commercials things on Hulu already, and HBO occasionally. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure that it's that great of a value for me. Maybe for other people, though.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Amazon has got you coming and going here. They're like, look, if you want our video, you get the shipping. We're just going to throw it in, and that's similar to what YouTube's doing. We're like, you want commercial free on YouTube? Pay $9.99 a month, but you also get access to Google Music, and now the podcasts, and now the YouTube Red Originals, and the ability to download and play offline. Like, they added all this stuff. That's what Amazon's doing. Amazon now going the other way and saying, yes, but if you don't want all that stuff, will allow you to pay more for less on a monthly basis. And again, you can do this in the UK at £5.99. Germany and Japan also have Prime Video, where it was available as part of Prime. I think Lau Roman makes a good point. He's like, maybe they did this at Sprint as a possibility, as a test. Now they're rolling it out to markets that already have Amazon Prime Video. What if the next step is to say, well, now that we've set up that infrastructure, Amazon Prime Video is available worldwide for $8.99 or the equivalent per month, although we don't have the shipping deal everywhere.
Now, that's a good idea. Now, would they then make a Prime that is just for shipping? Do you think that will ever happen? If they end up spinning off the music, spinning off the books for these little, maybe $3.99 for the lending library, maybe $4.99 for the music, photo storage is maybe a couple bucks. What would that look like, and could they get away with that?
Yeah, I don't know if you ever spin out the shipping. I think the idea with shipping, and this is the only reason I think you might not be barking up the right tree with the cost, is that they feel like giving you the free shipping makes you buy more, and so it pays for itself, right?
Right.
Because you're spending more on the platform, and they get profits from that. So I don't think they'd ever push the shipping out as its own thing, but I do like what TechCrunch is saying here about maybe they use Amazon Prime as a way to launch more services, right? You have an instant built-in audience if you say, we've just added it to Amazon Prime. So if you already pay the $99 a year or the $10.99 a month, now you have access to this X new thing. And then if it gets, they can try it out in there, perfect it if it seems popular, then roll it out as its own service.
Yeah, I think that's what eventually happened with Kindle Unlimited, right? It's its own thing. I don't know if they tested it in Prime, but it's not part of Prime. You
Right.
can't get unlimited books with it. So that's one example.
Though, because I'm like, well, wait, don't I get that with Prime? Oh, right. No, I get a version of that with Prime, but it's not the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think they need to be clear, but I like that they're willing to try stuff, like, you know, and they have the money to do it, and if they fail like they did with the phone, it's fine. They get back up and try something else. So like, why not do it?
Let's get to our pick of the day from Mike in Laurel, Maryland, who wants us to pick PlayStation View. Speaking of online video,
Okay.
he said, it was finally allowed my wife and I to get rid of our $100 a month DirecTV bill and watch our DVR'd content on our iPhones and iPad. We're paying $35 a month for PlayStation View, get all the channels we used to watch, including some of the regional sports networks. Go Capitals, he says, not me. I say go Blues. There are some annoyances. NBC Universal channels can't be watched on the mobile devices. Our area, DC and Baltimore, isn't one of the markets where you can get the major networks live through View. We use an over-the-air antenna and the on-demand through View to supplement that. There's no Roku app, so they had to buy a Fire TV. But Mike says to save $65 a month, it's worth some small annoyances, and from reading other people's posts, a lot of other people feel the same way.
Yeah, you know, I gave it a try. You know, obviously after listening to your other show, Cord Killers, I found it. I used it the first week. I found it to be pretty buggy in the first week, and I never went back to it. And I didn't like the interface over Sling, you know. But I heard it got better. It's a good value proposition. I'm never on my PlayStation for it to take it. I'm always on my Xbox. So
yeah, I liked a lot of things about it, but it was buggier in the early days. And Theater Monkey uses it and relies on it, and he says it's gotten way better. So I'm thinking about dipping back in and maybe trying it out again this summer.
Okay.
But yeah, good. And now Mike agrees. He says, oh, no, it's definitely working for me. Send your picks to us, folks. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Message of the day from Keith in beautiful Brownwood, Texas. Says, thanks for the show. I've been listening since day one. I've been following your work since Buzz Out Loud. I had a quick thought on podcasts in the Google Play Music app. I'm an avid Android wearer. I'm a terrible runner, but one of the things I've always desired is an easy way to bring a podcast with me on the run without my phone, just my smartwatch. I can do this with music, but until now I couldn't do it easily with podcasts. In theory, the integration of podcasts will let me offload my podcast to my watch daily. Might be a niche case, but one I've been hoping would come. And of course, by the time you read this email, this thought may be validated by Google's announcement. Keith, I haven't seen whether this will in fact work with Android Wear, so let me know now that it's launched if that's working for you. But it does seem like it should, since Google Music does.
And that will be a no-brainer. It's audio, so should in theory work.
Keith, if you're hearing me on your watch, tell your watch to remind you to email me that you're hearing me on your watch.
That's funny.
Hey, thanks to Lamar Wilson, who is also funny. And you should go subscribe to his channel, youtube.com/Lamar Wilson. That's LamarWilson. What shenanigans have you been getting up to lately?
Let's see. I've done some grocery shopping. You know, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
No, I have a
You
cool
go to Ralph's,
video.
or you're more of a Hudgens, or
Kind of a Vons. No,
Vons?
it
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah.
It was a fun video I did for a grocery haul. The audience really wanted it, and so I did. We rented a zip car, and we went to Costco and did a whole montage video, and people loved it. Yeah. So my next video coming up is probably going to be it's a highly requested one. What's on my iPad? Now, I generally wouldn't give two rats anything what someone has in their iPad, but people want to know what apps am I using now. So look for that this week.
Yeah, I've done several of those sort of what's on your iPad type of things, and yeah, it's it can be fun to see. Like, you wouldn't think so, but it can be fun to see because it's not what you expect, right? If it's what's on my iPad and you're like, here's my Twitter app and here's my default music app and my email, it's the default email app, that would not be fun. But it's when you find those weird things like, what is that app? Where did you get that? What do you use that for? That's what's
absolutely. I mean, even though most of mine are all Candy Crush, but besides that, there's some other interesting apps that I use. So,
by the way, Peter Wells just replied me on Twitter with an error message because he tries out a lot of devices, can't deauthorize this device. You can only deauthorize 4 devices a year. What? This is Google Play Music, by the way. He wants to
Really?
deauthorize a device so that he can use his account on a different device. And they're like, nope, you can't deauthorize the device. Seriously?
Apple gives you 10, and you can come and go as you please.
Yeah, well, you can only have 10 at a
like,
time, but you can deauthorize them as often as you want, right?
I've never
I mean, maybe there's a limit, but I've never run into it.
Yeah,
That's just
it is ridiculous. Stop it, Google.
Yeah, or as Peter Wells says, sigh. Thank you to everybody who supports this show, dailytechnewsshow.com/support. There are lots of ways that you can support the show. If you're already giving us something that you think is an equitable exchange for the value you get from the show, you're awesome. Thank you so much. You are the only way that we fund the show. We don't have sponsors. We don't have a trust fund. We don't have secret offshore accounts. We only have you. So if you get some value out of the show, dailytechnewsshow.com/support is the place to go to give some value back. Reminder, tomorrow the show will be recorded 2 hours later than usual, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. It's our Japan special, or Patrick Beja gets to sleep until 7 a.m. special, because he's in Japan tomorrow. So we'll do it a little later so that he can actually get up at a decent hour, and he's going to share a lot of his observations of the technology culture that he's run into over in Japan. He's been in a few different areas besides Tokyo, so check that out. But if you're waiting for it on time in your podcatcher, or if you're coming for the live stream, just remember we'll be recording it at 6:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, should be. I'm looking forward to it. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can give us a call, 512-59-DAILY. Catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com or diamondclub.tv. Drop on by and take a look. And visit our website, dailytechnewsshow.com. Back tomorrow with that special show with Patrick Beja. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
That laugh gets me every time.
So good.
Yeah. I think you did a satisfactory job today, Tom. If anything, I think you should probably work on more joy and more laughter and things, and more beard if possible.
More beard. Well, I just do. Yeah. See, I trimmed the beard this week.
I know. That's what I was like.
That was a bad move, right?
I kind of want to tell you, it's like just if you just kind of.
You were perfect as always.
I know.
And I know you know that. In fact, I'm making a mistake by telling you because you already know. So.
Yeah, I pretty much just need to be here daily. So just I have nothing else going on.
Level, the Lamar Wilson sinecure level.
Tom, I have nothing else going on in my life. Let's just do it.
What are you talking about? You got so much going on.
Let me please have me daily. No, You are my favorite. You already know that. You're my favorite.
Stop. You're my.
No,
favorite.
you've known it.
I love doing these shows with you.
Yeah, you are my favorite guy on the internet. You are awesome.
Shucks, you make me blush.
If you start turning red, Tom, everybody will see.
I know.
If I turn red, it'll be impossible.
You can tell. You look close. You can tell. What should we call this? Tom's working at NAB. Roger, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
The view from above.
Or are you just talking really silently?
Oh, he's muted.
Man, my MacBook Pro screen is dying. It's more than 3 years old now.
Really?
And it like something hit it in the corner, and it started showing a line, and then all of April it's just slowly eating the right side of the screen. And I'm like, just please hang in there till new Macs are announced. Just.
Oh, I was going to say because
I got other laptops I can use, but.
Because we can get these Patreons going. I can tell him right now on his microphone, guys, Patreon him a laptop. What are you doing?
But no, see, I want to wait till the new ones come out. I don't want to buy one of the old ones like a month before they announce a new one.
Okay, I mean that's fair. I mean,
so always give me a free one. Just wait.
I always have always have that battle with technology. It's like, yeah, as soon as you buy it, it's gonna be something new coming out anyway.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I always miss the boat on GoPros. I've been wanting to get one for 3 years, and I always forget. And then I think about the middle of the year, and I was like, well, shoot, they come out in around October. I might as well just wait for the next one.
What's going on with Roger's audio? We still can't hear. Oh man, Roger. Maybe Roger needs a new laptop first. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
You need to just sign language the title then to us.
Showbot.tv, folks. Play along at home. We'll be picking a title shortly. No, he's out. He's like, goodbye. I'm gonna relog in.
How about a Prime View?
I'm
so punny. I know it's terrible. I'll stop.
You know I'm a sucker for that, though.
You are.
What do we got? Amazon Video has reached its prime. Tom's wife working at NAB. Amazon wants its prime cut. Ooh, that's clever.
Okay. That's the winner.
Going with that?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can finally hear you.
It said it.
What was that? Did he just leave?
Did he leave or
he did?
Kicked out. He got
yeah,
kicked
he's
out.
like, it said.
We were having this problem before the show where it was saying it couldn't authenticate him. I think he's got some kind of browser cache issue.
So we stopped using Netscape Navigator, Roger, and just use the regular browser.
You need to upgrade from Mosaic.
Hey, so Amazon has reached its prime. I like that one.
Amazon wants its prime cut, is what we were thinking.
Oh, that's good. Unless you're a vegan or vegetarian, never heard of
prime cut. A prime cut.
Oh, they've heard of it. They've heard of it.
Prime cut of squash.
Give me some of that.
The vegetarians secretly admire the prime cuts. They won't eat them, but they admire them.
I am not big on the red meats as I used to be. I think it's just age and health.
Oh, it's age. I feel the same way. Like it's so heavy. Like lately, I've been eating. I've done a couple of Instagrams on this. Sorry, Tom, you probably have overloaded you with Armenian food, but I have like got an Armenian food kick, and it's so light. Like
yes.
A good number of it, a good amount. It's a nice plate, but I do not like hummus at all because it's never made right. Their hummus, my goodness, it's good.
I will say that most packaged hummus, like you get in the supermarkets, kind of bland and off-tasting. But like really fresh, like fresh made or stuff you can actually get at like that's like the organics brand they actually sell in the supermarkets actually not too bad up here. But like it's like Persian and there was like a Middle Eastern restaurant, really amazing chicken. Oh my gosh. It's like if you eat, you can stuff yourself, but you don't feel bloated or sick.
Yeah. And so as I'm getting older, I'm looking for more food like that that's quality. Mm-hmm. Like I went to one restaurant and it felt like it was a tiny restaurant, really, really small. But I felt like the lady was like cooking for me in her house. And, it was just that feeling. Loved it.
Well, and when you have a small restaurant, it makes your portions seem bigger.
That's an interesting point.
No, my stomach got smaller as I got older.
No, it is scientifically proven that if you serve the same amount of food on a smaller plate, you will get full faster.
What do you need? I'm working right now. Hello? Hello?
Roger's on the phone.
Hello?
We can hear you, Roger.
I'm working right now. What do you need?
I'm going to mute Roger.
Okay.
In case he's... What, my social security number? It's 1, 2, 3.
He's making a mob deal there. What do you need?
Right? I was surprised he hadn't answered it. All right, I'm still exporting. But yeah, man, I love those. I love those kind of places.
Yeah, like the place you took me to. You were there with your dog the other day, right? Or yesterday?
Yeah, with Sawyer.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I recognized the table. So
oh yeah.
It's like I like that place. I like little places like that. Yeah, it might be a little bit higher, but it's like you get kind of really good customer service.
Yeah.
Because they know they need you.
And you generally get better food.
Yeah. I think so. That's probably what I'll probably recreate that today. Because I told the lady I'll be back, so I have to go back now.
You know, it's not actually a restaurant. You just wandered into a lady's house, and she was nice enough to cook for you.
I was like, I smell some good food here. Oh, come on,
like,
baby.
I don't know. You got $20. I'll make some for you.
She got $20 out of me too.
What the LA Health Code doesn't know is won't hurt anybody.
I'm like, where's the letter A or anything? Oh, don't worry, honey, don't worry about that.
She's like, we got all the alphabet. It's fine. Have you ever eaten at a place with a B?
Yeah, but it took me months to go there.
I went to a place that I had gone to regularly, and it had a B, and I was like, whoa, like, dude.
Yeah, it was a Chinese restaurant.
Back, it was back to an A, so.
It was a Chinese restaurant. I saw that had an A. It was in Hollywood for the longest. And I just kept looking in every day as I went to this restaurant next to it. And I finally said, let me give them a try. Because it was a lot of people in there. So it seemed like they were doing something right.
There was a place by the cemetery I saw once that had an F. And then, of course, not too long after that, it was out of business.
I've never seen a C or anything.
I've only ever seen an A, B, and an F. Like the F was like, whoa, yeah, that's not good.
Wow. Okay. That's yeah, we got an F. You shouldn't even be open. Why was somebody walking there?
The next time I drove past there was no restaurant. It was gone.
Wow.
Roger, I unmuted you now.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want you to accidentally say something on the phone that everyone would hear.
No, my CPA kept calling me, and I had to answer it. I canceled it like 3 times.
Taxes later. Don't make me pay today.
Oh no, it's.
Yeah, no.
It is tax day though.
It is. We didn't mention that, but it's kind of obvious. It's not a text story. It's just file electronically. Well, you can actually file by post date, right? Like, those you have the postmarked. You get to
postmarked by the end of the day, April 18th.
Yeah.
Man, we used to run tax stories on techtv.com and CNET, and they would never do well. It was always this thing like, oh, you got to run a tax story because it's tax day. And I'm like, no, it's too late, and nobody wants to be reminded about it. And
no one wants to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they didn't do it, they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to be thrown in their face.
Right.
Yeah.
So Prime cut.
Amazon wants its Prime cut. Oh yeah, a couple states it is tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Really?
Yeah,
because they have a holiday.
But that's just state income tax, right?
Well, the
federal income tax do the same for everyone.
Should be. Otherwise, I'm moving.
You get that extra day.
That's what I have an account for. They better did it on time. They said they did it electronic. So.
Oh right, because it's Patriots Day today in Massachusetts. Good point, Captain Jack.
Patriots Day. Okay.
So, if that's the case, Boston Marathon's today, and that means that the federal government postal office has to deliver mail because it's not a federal holiday.
They are still up.
That's weird.
Yeah. Oh, taxes.
I actually don't mind paying a reasonable amount of tax to support the government that does many things, and it gives me the right to complain about what those things are. I would just like it to be simpler. And obviously I'd like it to be lower too, but yeah.
The issue is the simplicity. I mean, I have to hire a company for mine now because it's too.
Yeah, same here.
It's too detailed, and I don't know. And now we have to do estimated quarterly taxes. Well, they're not required, but they strongly encourage you to.
Because they want to make the interest off your money, not you.
Right. I was like, well, yeah, that's what because this is my first year having to do that, and they're like, well, you don't. They said you don't have to, but we strongly encourage it if you want to make sure that you're not hit with a big bill.
Yeah,
next
and it's
year.
a good safety measure to make sure you have enough money to pay your taxes. The next
Absolutely.
year. Yeah.
And so they're right, and when I have the money, I will.
Okie dokie.
Right. That was fun talking about money I'm losing today. Or we're all losing.
So it ended on a downer there.
I agree. I just really need the money to pay rent in 2 weeks. So.
But thanks everybody for watching, and
oh no, don't cry, Roger.
Have a lovely Patriots Day.
Patriots.
Yes.
Go Patriots.